Welcome to the module demonstration for the asset module. Asset module is one of the very core module for information security management system implementation. In this module, we can track assets. We can classify assets based on their confidentiality, integrity, and availability rating. This module also helps us to track service done for an asset, movement of assets, allocation of assets, and it also allows us to do risk analysis for the asset, and it also helps us to do a business impact analysis in terms of if this particular asset goes down, what could be the impact on the organization. It also helps us to track the components for the asset. So let me start with the asset addition module and show all the features that is there in the asset module. To add any new asset, you just click on add, so you get the grid here. In case you want to enter data in a more like a page layout, just click on the update button. So I create one demo asset, then I click on asset type. Suppose it's a system. All these asset types actually help us to track various kinds of assets for information security purpose. The asset can be a system asset, can be a network asset, can be a paper asset, or can be critical data, or anything that the organization feels appropriate. Asset class is again a flexible field to just denote certain kind of assets which are critical. Asset value typically depends on the combination of CIA rating. So for the time being, I'm just going to put the integrity rating as 4, availability rating as 4, and confidentiality rating as 4, and hence the asset value is 12. Description can be for the asset. So for example, I just give the description as the production server, SAP server, or SAP server, and then allocated to department, it is to IT. You can also allocate a particular asset to a person, which is allocation to the person. You can also write a little bit on the business continuity plan and disaster recovery plan for the asset. You can also put in warranty expiry date for the asset. So for example, this warranty is getting over an year from now, and you can also maintain if there is any license related requirement for the asset and if it is going to expire on certain particular date. Okay, sorry, I think the location also has to be provided. So for the time being, I'm making it as Bangalore. So now we have added one new asset, which is GRCPerfect demo asset. So for this asset, I can create a service record by going in for the service, like say preventive maintenance. I can say monthly server check as the preventive maintenance. We can put the date, on which date this happened, who did it. So for example, Ellen did it, and we can save this service record. Then if I close this service record, I can go and track on movement. If there is any movement for the asset, we can track this movement, saying movement type, it is outward, it is gone for servicing, and it is returnable. Likely return date is towards the month end. Material description is the SAP server. Material ID is already picked up from the asset. So current location is this. It is going to Pune for servicing. Who authorized this movement, and whether it is returned or not, we can track it there. So basically, like this, we can track all the assets that is going out of the organization and coming back. And you also can print get pass for any movement if you have configured the printer properly. Then we will close the asset movement track. Similarly, we can define allocations for the asset, to whom the asset is being assigned, from whom, when to when, why. That also can be tracked. Then one of the key things you can do here is the risk analysis. So I'm just going to click on risk analysis, and since it's a system analysis, system asset, we have predefined lots of threats and vulnerabilities for the asset, and this also can be modified. Like say for example, poor password management can have a very severe impact in terms of data being leaked, and current controls is not enough, so the vulnerability value is medium. The probability is high because it's a financial server, so people would like to uh, do a compromise of the information. So you change all that, and by design it puts you a measure of risk for the management. And then what happens, since this measure of risk is not acceptable to you, you can create an action item for you to implement a proper password management system. Implement proper password management system for SAP server. And this again can be tracked, assigned to IT manager, and status is open or in progress, raised by whom, all that you can plan, closure date you can put, all that you can do. And in turn what happens is an action item is automatically linked to the risk identified. So that way the system is able to help you to identify risks, also plan action items based on the risk. So I'm going to close this risk module here. And of course, we can do a business impact analysis similar to what we saw in the BIA module, or we can also track components saying, suppose CPU, then hard disk, operating system. You can track the serial numbers and license numbers here itself. So this also kind of works as an inventory of your licenses for the various assets. So this is the main use of the assets module, and then we will move to other modules after this demo.